Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Between the Numbers Sports Podcast and Show. I'm your host, Daryl. So, hey, we got our first upset of the college football season. So, today started week zero between Florida State and Georgia Tech. And this game had a lot of ramifications, right? So, the game was away in Ireland, right? And we all know that, Florida State had been getting cooked all off season by people like Paul Feinbaum, Kirk Herbstreit, right? We all know what happened last year, how Florida State was left out of the playoffs. And so everyone wanted to kind of see if Florida State could, prove the haters wrong. And they did not. They took the L. They was upset by Georgia Tech. The score was 24-21. And man, look, I'm an LSU fan. I know Florida State beat us 2 years in a row in the season opener, but you know, I had no dog in the fight. I wasn't cheering against Florida State. I wasn't cheering for Florida State. I was just watching the game. But I told myself, I was like, man, Florida State better win this game because if they get cooked, if they lose, the college football world is going to cook them even more, right? And they lost. Now I don't gamble, but I saw that Vegas and a few other gambling agencies was kind of saying maybe you should put your money on Georgia Tech. I seen that they have Florida State on upset alert at the beginning of the game. I know Nick Saban is really high on Georgia Tech, but I didn't read too much into it. But man, this loss just gave all of the Florida State haters more ammunition, right? More ammunition. The week zero games are really tough. Um, I mean, because both teams are coming in right out of training camp or what have not, right? So you got to work out a lot of different kinks and all those different things, right? And it was a close game. I know Florida State had a lot of people go to the NFL. They had got a lot of good transfers last season. They was able to go 13-0. But this year, a lot of those guys are gone. Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Jordan Verse. Maybe I'm saying his name right, but the defensive tackle Verse, right? Fist. Those guys are in the NFL, right? And they don't have those same guys. Florida State has a new quarterback in DJU. Um, Started off at Clemson, went to Oregon State, and then transferred into um, Florida State. I mean, he's been in college football for 5 years. He started over 48 games. And so man, it's gonna be a tough week for Florida State and Florida State's fans. Just to go over the box score real fast, it was pretty neck and neck. Um, Georgia Tech had more total yards, 336 to Florida State's 291. Um, Florida State had more passing yards, 193 compared to Georgia Tech's 146. Rushing yards, um, Georgia Tech had more, 190 to 98. I do want to say something about that because a lot of what I was reading before this game started was that uh, Florida State may have the best defensive line in the ACC, and if not in the ACC, definitely one of the best defensive lines in all of college football. And Georgia Tech was able to have their way on the ground with over 190 yards rushing. So anytime you get 100 yards rushing versus a team, and more so 190 yards rushing, you got a good chance of winning the game. Yards per play, Georgia Tech had more. They averaged 6.5 yards per play. Florida State had five. Florida State had more first downs with 20. Georgia Tech had 18. And Georgia Tech was a little bit better on third down compared to Florida State. And Florida State had more plays, 58 to Georgia Tech's two. And both teams punted twice. Penalties wasn't too bad. It wasn't any turnovers. And the time of possession was about neck and neck. So Florida State had the ball, time of possession averaged 30 minutes. And Georgia Tech was like 29 and some change. So a very, very close game. But Florida State wasn't able to pull it off. And, you know, looking at those Georgia Tech kids and they coach, they was really excited. Georgia Tech head coaches, Georgia Tech head coach has 5 wins when he was expected to lose by double digits. So all of the teams that he coached, when they was expected to lose by double digits, he's won 5 of those games. So big kudos to Georgia Tech. It's exciting to see Georgia Tech coming back around and possibly building on being a dominant team again. Kudos to Georgia Tech. I'm pretty sure they heard all of the noise about Florida State coming out being pissed off and wanting to show the world that last year wasn't a fluke, and Georgia Tech was able to get the game done, leave Ireland with a W on a neutral field. So um, good stuff for Georgia Tech. Florida State, like I said, it's going to be a really, really rough week for the fans, for the players, especially the fans. Right, a lot of the players can block out a lot of that noise, but the fans are going to sit on the message boards and going to get on Twitter and going to get on Facebook and say stuff. I already seen some nasty stuff already uh, from some Florida State fans. Let me show you real fast. Uh, Hopefully you can see this, but let me show you what I just seen on. Maybe y'all can see that. Y'all see that? So that can be a reason why a lot of people don't like Florida State. But you're going to see a lot of this floating around on social media. I wouldn't blame DJU. I saw some people trying to blame DJU. He had no turnovers. He played solid to me. I mean, he probably could have did a little bit more, but he didn't have any turnovers. He didn't lose the game for Florida State. But yeah, Florida State takes the L. Man, I'm just gonna sit back and see what Paul Feinbaum says. I seen Kirk Herbstreit already tweeted something. He was getting booed, but Kirk Herbstreit, he took the high road. So I got to see what Paul Feinbaum does. But you know, the good thing about this for Florida State is if you got to take a positive from it, all Florida State fans, I want to say this. It was a tough loss for y'all. But the great news is there's a 12-team playoff now. There's still plenty of opportunity. You guys can climb back into the bracket. You just got to regroup and keep battling, right? Don't try not to lose no more games. Try not to lose no more games for the rest of the season. This team is going to get better. You guys got a new quarterback. You guys got a bunch of new players, the old players to the NFL. So, you guys just got to hold your heads up. But this week is going to be a rough week. So, all right, I'm wrapping it up, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Did y'all want Florida State to win? Did y'all want Florida State to lose? Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section below. And until next time, I'm out.